Hello, fellas.
Hey, welcome,
Yo,
welcome. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
yeah, I can't complain, fellas. Can't complain at all. Man, week two is upon us, man. Well, it's behind us now. Week three is ahead of us. And you know what this means. We have some contenders and some pretenders. And we'll talk about those and sort it out. We'll look at more into the Jets situation, see what can happen there. Uh, there's some injuries, man, that's happening in my opinion, way too soon in the NFL. But man, it's already impactful, and so a lot of moving and shaking going on. But welcome to the Sports Brothers show. We are the Sports Brothers, and I'm Mr. 401. Is Zach, and you have Philly Red Zone, and I know Philly Red Zone gonna have some things to say about the Eagles, and so we definitely gonna give him the platform to break down those Eagles for us. Uh, the team that he predicts is going to win it all this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Uh, let's
And look,
let's yeah.
yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. All right, Sports Brother Show.
Yeah.
Yep.
We in the building. Make sure you do this. Like, subscribe, notification bell, share, because sharing is caring.
Yes, it is.
It
Yes, it
sure
is.
is.
Always.
It ain't no fun. It ain't no fun.
Nope.
All right. So since if the homies can't have none, what is going on with your Eagles? What can they have? Can they have the championship this year? Philly Red Zone?
Yeah. I mean, it's they their window is nowhere near closing. I mean, they got two new coordinators and they played what, two games in a matter of in a window of what, 4 days, going from the Patriots, who, they played the mastermind Belichick. You go anytime you go up to Foxborough and you're able to pull out a win. I don't care who you are. That is a tough place to play. Belichick always have his teams ready. And they went up there. They got the win on the nasty day. Couldn't run their offense the way they wanted to. No excuse, but they got the win. And then you turn around and you playing against a Belichick disciple and Brian Flores, man, and that guy basically ran the same defense. He slowed the Eagles down, in the beginning because Jalen Hurts was just being greedy. Instead of taking what Brian Flores was given to him, the flats and in the middle of the field, he was trying to just push the ball and made a couple mistakes, but also made some big plays. And then they just buckled down and said, you know what? They got three down linemen and two linebackers, and we got about over what, about 1,000 pounds on our line. Let's just push these boys out the way and let Swift go to work. And Swift did his thing, man. 28 for 175 and a tug. I mean, hey, a win is a win. I don't care if you get it through the air or on the ground. This football, yeah, is been different already. And then I mean on the back end, man, on the defense, uh, they had a couple injuries, so they had some kids out there who never played on the NFL field, man. They was just thrown out there, and they showed up and showed out. Made some plays, made some mistakes, but all in all, you get the win, 2-0, and that's all that matters, man. Move on to the Buccaneers. I think that's going to be a great matchup. You got another top defense coordinator in Todd Bowles who comes off the bus blitzing. Yeah, you already know. You walk in the stadium, he got somebody chasing you. So you basically got to have have a game plan, block it up, and make them pay because he's gonna give you one-on-one on the outside. You know,
Yeah.
And then you're going up against Baker Mayfield. I mean, this dude got confidence right now. He think he's Tom Brady, heir apparent, which, he'll be humbled after Monday night. He'll realize he's just Baker Mayfield,
Oh,
and hey, man, on to the next.
well, that's our Philly report. Zach, anything you see from Philly? Anything pros and cons? Any concerns? Anything you like?
No, they're to a degree same as last year. I go more in offensive, defensive line. They're great, or I should say, good to elite. They brought in more bodies. They help on the defensive line and in the front seven. And I put them in a category with the Cowboys and the 49ers, that those teams are great across the line of scrimmage, or good to great across the line of scrimmage. They play football, a physical brand of football. And it's like Philly Red Zone said, you get the ball to Swift 28 times, grind out a win, because you just want to get a W. Who cares if you get a pretty loss versus an ugly dub? Get as many ugly dubs as you can, and if you get 3 to 4 of them in the playoffs, you're the Super Bowl champ.
There you
Philly
go.
did what they had to do, and I would put them, as I said, Cowboys, Niners, and Eagles in their own tier in the NFC, and any of those teams, as long as things break the right way, because everybody needs a little bit of luck.
Oh yeah,
Can win the title. AFC, not so sure who's all in that bucket, but the Eagles, they've done what they needed to do, and even with giving Jalen Hurts the money, they gave him the money, but to a degree, the contract is team friendly, and they have people in place. They're prepared for the future. Well-run organization, so they will definitely have a chance to win a title. And we talked about it off air. They got rich people problems. When your wide receiver is upset, he's not getting enough balls in a game that you blowing somebody out. Those are good problems to have.
Yeah. And the NFC East, is it going to be a problem there? Philly Red Zone, so far 7-1 in that division.
Again, it's early. I mean, we went through this last year where Washington just got off to the slow start, and we had Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants, and the cream rose to the top. And like this year, the cream's gonna rise to the top, and it's gonna be green. So I mean, I watched I almost said the other name, the Commanders. I mean, for them to eke out that win out in Denver. I mean, they fought tooth and nail. Russell gave them everything he could give, and they got that win. So that looked pretty. And I mean, Dallas, you talk to any Dallas fans, you would think they played against Johnny Unitas and Tom Brady the last 2 weeks versus Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson. When it's like, all right, you guys were supposed to beat them, and y'all was supposed to beat them the way y'all beat them. Y'all haven't really played an upper echelon quarterback or team that's going to challenge you guys. So that's where the overconfidence come in with them, and they'll be humbled, like they're always humbled. Once the brisk air gets out there, and we start hearing jingle bells and all that stuff, and we getting close to New Year's, and Dak figure out, oh, I'm not a good quarterback, because that boy, if he threw that pick six to Sauce, that was a different game, and he knows that. But Michael Parsons is a stud. I can't take nothing away from that brother. But all in all, the Eagles, like Zach said, is stacked top to bottom across that line. I mean, between Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, the Georgia boys,
Woo!
we didn't even see Nolan Smith get a sniff yet. Hassan Reddick ain't getting his bag yet. Josh Sweat just warming up. Fletcher Cox look like he's Mississippi State Fletcher Cox. Brandon Graham is still, those guys is coming along. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting. But I really believe by week 9-10, we gonna know who's who in that NFC East.
All right.
So
Well,
That's all I got to say.
I'm going to disagree with Philly a little bit. I'll have to reserve until we get to the 49ers game. But I actually like how Mike McCarthy is calling the offense. And he's taking the ball out of his $40 million, $50 million quarterback head and trying to make it a team game and not let their quarterback make mistakes. As Philly said, he did throw the pass to Sauce that Sauce should have grabbed. But they're trying to keep Dak from screwing this thing up. Instead of making him throw the ball 40, 50 times a game, let's have a controlled game, as he said, get his team off the field and play a style that's more conducive to winning the championship. So I want to see how that plays out. But if they can continue to say, hey, we're not going to let you screw this up first, Dak, I think they have a chance and better than what they've had. Like they should definitely get to the NFC Championship if they get their ducks in a row. But as long as they keep it this style, I like the Cowboys. Now, if it came down to which QB I trust more, I trust Hurts more than I trust Dak. But if you're going to keep the ball out of Dak's hands, that makes it a lot better for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Remember that commercial? It's Hurts and not exactly. You know,
Yes.
you remember that commercial back in the day? Well,
Yes,
there it is.
I do. I mean, no, that's for the Eagles are better across the lines, but I'd say trusting the QB is the really big difference. That I have no faith in Dak at all. Like, it fooled me once, but not twice.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
exactly.
Joe.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The game I'm waiting for is the Dallas San Fran game. That's
what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I get to see how that is because let's just be real with this. Like Brock Purdy shouldn't be in the conversation. Yet the 49ers have Brock Purdy, Dallas has Dak, and the Eagles have Hurts. You would think that those two quarterbacks are going to be better. So which quarterback? Hurts already proved that, hey, we can get it done. Dak hasn't proved that.
Yeah.
There's a list of some 2-0 teams right there.
All right. I see Saints, Bucks, hold up. Atlanta 2-0?
Yes.
Yeah.
What you talking about? That's the
y'all had
eight. You ain't seen Desmond Ritter?
Hey man, Mr. Ritter, Mr. Cincinnati Bearcat on, man.
Wow. Bijan Robinson is playing well. That was
man, Bijan is
very
stud,
good draft pick.
Yeah.
Detroit messed up by not drafting.
Well, I want y'all to listen closely. Enjoy that while we all can, because you know we're gonna get into some injuries later on. But
that I'm not gonna watch. I'm not.
So
tell me about
I saw it already.
Enjoy the new running backs while they're new. But yeah, all these 2-0 teams right here. Who are the pretenders out of here?
Man.
Well, come on.
Commanders.
As much as I would like for them to do Atlanta.
Yeah.
And when you say pretender, are you saying won't make the playoffs or won't win the Super Bowl? Because as I said, there's only
not that far. I mean, not Super Bowl, but just pretenders. Like, okay, it's just 2-0. I mean, these teams may not even make the playoffs, or
Atlanta.
Let's temper some things with these teams. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, Atlanta. I would throw them out there most definitely. Are those like all NFC teams?
Well, you got the Dolphins up there. You got the Ravens. Dolphins, Ravens are in there, and the rest of them look like NFC teams.
Yeah. It's only 2 AFC teams.
So only 7 get in. I would already. I kind of already threw the gauntlet down of the Eagles, Cowboys, and 49ers. So that's 3 of your 4 spots gone. Somebody from the South has to make it, and
I got Atlanta
from the North has to make it. I would probably lean toward. I'm going to lean toward the Saints because they have Derek Carr. If you bring in Derek Carr and he can't win that damn division, what did you bring him in for?
Oh my goodness!
Like you said, they had Derek Carr.
Well, he's the best quarterback in the division, ain't he? He should win the division
on paper.
Well, yes,
but it's Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr was trying to lose that Carolina game the other night. The way he was playing. I mean,
I just go off your paycheck, kind of like Daniel Jones with the Giants.
I
Once you
get
get the paycheck, I'm not giving you excuses. Desmond
Yep.
Ritter, he ain't got no paycheck like that.
Yeah.
Same with Bryce Young. We already know what the expectations are for him.
Yeah.
And
Well-
let me tell it, Atlanta should be in the Caleb Williams sweepstake anyway. So they already done messed up. They need to be on what your plan was last year, Mr. Ford. Well, we want you to win one game.
One game. Yeah.
One game.
Get on that Arizona Cardinals plan.
Yes.
That was
Ooh,
you need to get
hold
on.
on. Caleb or Shiloh. I mean, yo, what is it, Shador?
No,
What's
no. Shador's going to
Shador.
Shador's going to Seattle.
Nah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in them dirty birds like his daddy was.
Well,
No,
is
he going to
there-
Seattle.
Is he going there in 2025? Because he won't be leaving this year.
Right. He's
Nah,
going to Seattle.
I
He's
don't
going
see
to. You know, I've been saying that since he's been playing at Jackson State. He's going to Seattle.
I mean,
We'll see. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, there was two more teams on it as 2-0. Tampa and
Commanders.
and the Commanders.
I mean, ask us that question next week about Tampa, because as Philly just said, they get to play against a live team now, and they've been fine. Defensively, they'll probably hang in there, but what is that offense going to do? And really, as he said, what is Baker going to do? Because a lot of these games, like we saw with this injury you're going to bring up with Nick Chubb, it really comes down to your quarterback. And do you trust your quarterback? I'm not sure I trust Baker Mayfield, say with 3 minutes left in the game, to go get me a touchdown, and he's got to drive 80 yards to go do it against elite defenses.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned defenses too, because Baker had 317 in the air versus the Bears.
Yes, my buddy Fields
Subpar
let me
defense.
down.
Subpar.
But we'll
Subpar.
see what happens.
But
Yeah, we'll
I'll
see what
say this
happens.
about Baker too. Baker's a veteran now. He did lead the Browns to 11 or 12 wins, has a playoff victory. He should be able to be a game manager. Like that ain't asking him too much to hand the ball off, throw the ball to the colored jersey that looks like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right
That's
now,
not
I think
a lot to ask.
I think some of these teams are benefiting right now off the schedule too. You know, there's a couple matchups the first 2 weeks for some teams that are winnable matchups. You know what I'm saying? So to come out 2-0, that's good because you want to get the W. But I would caution a lot of people. Even my son, I know he's a Falcon fan for some reason. I couldn't get him to be a Seahawk fan.
Probably because he's from Georgia.
Yeah, but you know, he's happy about the 2-0. But you know, let's look at these opponents too, and say, hey, maybe just a little bit, you know, put a little temper to that. Same thing with Tampa, in my opinion.
Well, you did put out a thing. Didn't you put out a thing? I want to say you sent me something where somebody went through the Falcons schedule and it had the Falcons going like 11-6 or winning 13 games or whatever. And that's just based off of who the opponents are. So even if the Falcons win 12 games, there is no way in hell, even if they had home field advantage throughout the playoffs, they're not beating Philadelphia, San Francisco, or the Cowboys unless those teams have a quarterback injury, because they don't match up across the line of scrimmage. So in that sense, they're a pretender. They just are. Yeah.
I mean, it has to be right now. They have to really, really find a way to make us believe, if you will.
Yes.
As a certain coach likes to say. But look, the NFL is a master program, man. I mean, you just think about how excited and how hyped fans are out here about certain teams after the first 2 weeks. They don't even think about who they're playing or anything. It's like, oh, my team's 2-0. We're the greatest thing on earth right now. And the NFL sitting back saying, yeah, that's what we want you to think. We want you to feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's the casino effect, man. I'm gonna let you win on that first slide or two.
Yeah, there you go.
So, you know, you done lost the house.
I would say I actually like Washington, fellas. I really do. I like them in the sense of the construction of the team. And I would say they're a team that might win 8-9 games, depending. They're not gonna make no noise or whatever, but I at least like the team construction and how they go about their business.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Howell looks pretty good at quarterback. But we also got to talk about this guy, right? I don't think his name came up yet.
I'm going to give him credit. If they win 8-9 games, make the playoffs, he should get credit and get a coaching opportunity, head coaching opportunity. Like some of these other clowns, they get a head coaching opportunity, go out there, stink the joint up. Like who's old boy that was in Denver, Hackett. He deserves. Bieniemy deserves a chance to go out there and fall on his face like everybody else if he makes this Washington thing work. Because I said, Howell he's serviceable.
Yeah.
He and that's about it. Serviceable.
Yeah,
he's in that Desmond Ritter category.
Yeah,
man. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned Ritter because there was 2 picks. There was 2 easy interceptions that Ritter threw in that game this past Sunday as well. So, man, that you can't. I mean, just look at those throws, man. It was just awful. So I would say kind of temper that. I like what you said, Zach. I'll get in position to get Caleb Williams. Then you're set. Now you're set.
Well,
either Caleb or that kid, man.
Why I kind of thought maybe they thought we start Desmond Ritter, he will take care of that, and then they magically somehow won 2 games.
Yeah.
So they probably say like, damn it, how did we win 2? That's 2 more than what we supposed to. Whereas look at Arizona. Arizona did it perfectly. We go out, get up big, we look good. We lose this game, and we 0-2, but we was competitive out there. We look like we belong.
Yeah. How did Arizona look the first week? I thought they actually were competitive the first week too, right?
They competed against the Commanders. I mean, they was in that game.
Yeah,
I mean, they competed. Dobbs looked good, and then
and Dobbs has a good, I think, QBR right now too.
Yeah,
even better. Dobbs looks like a decent QB, and we still losing games.
Yep.
And then a part of that game with the Giants and the Arizona, there was a major injury there. Saquon Barkley went down. The Giants did come back and win that game, as you all mentioned. How Arizona is continue to go right on script actually. So we don't need any writers in the movie industry right now. Arizona is not in Arizona because they're sticking to the script that was already written for them. But man, Saquon Barkley went down. Nick Chubb went down. We haven't had a chance to talk about Aaron Rodgers as well. And so let's start with Zach's Georgia Bulldog, Nick Chubb.
Oof, that was gruesome, man. That was gruesome.
Yes, it was. And I guess from a personal standpoint, just it sucks when it happens to, as they would say, a good guy. But injuries are part of football. But Nick Chubb is a good guy. And man, he is a powerful SOB. And I would say he's probably done because his running style, if he was more like Barry Sanders, where he, it makes people miss, but he plays with power. He runs through people. He was dragging people, running over people, and I don't know if anybody said it was a dirty hit by Mika Fitzpatrick, but I can tell you
borderline. It was borderline.
Well, I'm not gonna say it because I'm not hitting Nick Chubb up top if I ain't got to hit it. Hell, that big ass dude that was just out there trucking linebackers and pulling people, I'm hitting him at his feet if I can do it. And I'm sure he didn't want him to get injured like that. But Nick Chubb makes you come at him like that. He played too strong. Like them squats that he be doing is for real.
Yeah. 500, right? How much he squat?
He's like 7 something.
7 something.
Yes. Yes, dang. He is. And I was amazed that a running back was doing that to other professional men.
He up there with Derrick Henry.
He looked really good. It's very unfortunate for him.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't think he's coming back from that.
No, I mean, if he does, more power to him. But I think sometimes you just gotta. He's had a wonderful career.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. And I would say that too. In between, like you're saying, the injury to Barkley and the injury to Chubb, I wouldn't pay these guys if I was owners. Like I get it, and I love running backs. You know that, Mr. 4-on-1. I was a big time fan of running backs growing up, but you can't pay them. Like look at Philadelphia. They let Miles Sanders go, and they bring in Swift, and they got like 4 different backs that they can put out there and probably get comparable production from. Why would you pay them? And
right. Is
like,
it? Oh, go ahead, Zach.
Well, I was gonna say, I think Chubb did get paid. And,
yeah, he got paid.
And he's done. Like, and what is this? 3rd time, I think, overall, but 2nd time in his NFL career.
Yeah.
So you just can't pay him because there's no rules put in place to say, oh, you can't hit a running back below the waist. And like Philly said, I'm not gonna say it was dirty, but what I will say is that's kind of like picking up dirt when you in a fight with somebody, you throw it in their eye, blind, and then hit them. So it wasn't dirty. I'm saying it wasn't against the rules or anything, but
no flag was thrown.
it was. I'm not gonna be a man and get you straight up or whatever.
Yeah. It's brutal, man. It's a brutal position, man. I think the average span of a running back is somewhere around 3 years.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years. That's it.
Yeah. So, and we notice a lot of backs after a certain number of carries, they pretty much fade into oblivion anyway. We were just talking in the pre-show, looking for Leonard Fournette. You know what I mean? So, and Kareem Hunt, was a budding star not too long ago, and he's just now getting back into the season due to injuries of other players. So it's brutal, man. And speaking of that running back position, we have another back that's down. We talked about Arizona, and so Saquon Barkley, a highly paid running back, he is down. And what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, they saying it's an ordinary ankle sprain. The way they was carrying him off the field, I think it's a high ankle sprain. I think that's gamesmanship from the Giants. They're trying to maintain a competitive advantage because Dable came out, well, Saquon, it's a possibility he can play Thursday. And then later on today, oh, yeah, Saquon's not playing. It's like, come on now.
And he ain't coming back anyway because you didn't pay him.
Exactly.
He has no incentive. Like, this is a win-win for him to a degree.
Yep.
I'm gonna sit out a few weeks. Let's see how Daniel Jones goes out there.
Yep.
And I will say Saquon was the cause of that interception return for a touchdown. But I have no faith in Daniel Jones, and you gave him all that money. So if I'm Saquon, I'm not getting back out there until my ankle is 110%.
Yeah, for real. And I agree. I don't see him coming back. They talking about 2 to 3 weeks. That's not happening. He'll be out 6 weeks. Excuse me, if not longer.
What's the max for? Look, I step on it a little. Oh, no, it still don't feel good. It's been 8 weeks. I know. I just don't feel it right now.
Yeah, because now, I mean, you got ankle injury, and once you start messing with ankles, he got to worry about Achilles because that can transition to a whole nother issue. He push off.
Contract.
Yep,
and no full franchise him again. Hell no.
Yeah,
And he probably saw Nick Chubb on Monday night. Like everybody saw that. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. A lot of running backs that's playing or sitting home, they probably like, nah. Yeah. Hey.
I mean, it's sad to say it that way, but it is at the end of the day, it's a business, and these guys already get lowballed. So like, what did you say? 3.5 years, Mr. 4-on-1. So if you don't have only 4 years of earning potential, then I need to make sure I'm getting the most money I can out of the 4 years. And it just is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. But hey, man, like they say, the show go on. Matt Breida, you up next?
Yep.
And they'll make some phone calls. They'll find somebody else, and we'll continue to watch, man.
All right, well, take a look at this, gentlemen. 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Surgical repairs, promote healing, and fully resorb. In rotator cuff repair, the BioBrace is easily implanted using existing arthroscopic techniques. Preclinical testing has demonstrated that the BioBrace induces a rapid cellular infiltration, leading to the regeneration of new, thicker tendon tissue and a surgical repair that is as strong as native tendon by 12 weeks. The BioBrace implant represents an innovative approach that is designed to potentially shorten recovery and increase the durability of clinical outcomes following rotator cuff and other soft tissue repairs. BioBrace.
Actually, this was. I honestly didn't really know much about the technique. I didn't know what a speed bridge was. I didn't know the name of this until probably 5:30 on Saturday. I'm watching my son play baseball, and I'm getting calls and trying to, with my little computer, trying to figure this out. So basically what Aaron Rodgers did was there's a technique of Achilles repair where basically they put an internal brace on, and it essentially makes it more secure and gives the player the possibility of recovering earlier. No one knows if it will happen. No one knows if Rodgers' rehab will take 7 months or 8 months or 9 months or 4 or 5 months like Cam Akers did a couple years back, right? But it does at least give him the possibility of that. I would also expect, just like your friend Kobe Bryant, another former Laker, may he rest in peace. He went to Germany and got PRP shots. Rodgers may do the same.
So Zach, Aaron Rodgers, according to the word on the street, is that he's trying to make it back to at least be available in the postseason. What do you think? And Philly.
Well, like you're saying, he's going to come back for the first game of the postseason if they make the postseason. Like, so, but I'm just saying, he ain't played all season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see why you would do it, because if you get Aaron Rodgers back, you probably feel like, hey, we can ride him to a Super Bowl. But I think just looking at it, like, you got to play football to get better at football. You've been talking about some of these injuries. I think some of the injuries, and then even some of these teams starting 2-0, is that some people did more in preseason than other people.
Yep.
And the people that are prepared, they're playing at a higher speed. Those that weren't, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Now you haven't built up that tough skin like you need. You get whacked, and you telling me he's going to miss a whole season? I wouldn't bet money on them coming out of the AFC with him coming back. But depending on how things go with Zach Wilson, and Philly talked about it, the Cowboys getting excited when they beat Wilson and beat the other New York QB, that you probably do want to put him out there. But is he really going to be better? Like, is he going to be ready for that? Or will another hit take his ass out?
Yeah, I agree. For one, I'm laughing because Jets and playoffs with Zach Wilson, that mean that man have to stand on his head like a goalie. And he already demonstrated what type of quarterback he is. He got 10 points last week. There was plays to be made, and that guy just held the ball, and he couldn't figure out what he was looking at. I think this is all a marketing thing. Rodgers is the master marketer. He's trying to set himself up for after football with this publication talking about he'll come back in 4 to 5 months from an Achilles, and then play at a high level and play in the playoffs. Like, yeah, okay. You can withstand one hit from Floyd in 4 plays. You're going to come back with a surgically repaired Achilles and go and play it against, the cream of the crop in the football world. I'm like, come on now.
It's a top 17.
Yeah, you food. I mean, you as soon as that ball snap, guys is going to be clamoring to hit your ass.
Yes.
And force you, because, the Jets line is like Swiss cheese. So you already know as soon as that ball snap, you got a D tackle in your face in 2 seconds. Yeah. As soon as the ball move, swim move, let's go. Now let's see how that ankle feel.
Man, I like Swiss cheese though.
Well, and I'd say 2 things against, like, first, like Philly saying, if you make the playoffs with Zach Wilson, do you want to replace Zach Wilson if you found a way to make the playoffs?
Right. There you go.
The second thing is, does Deshaun Watson look like he's the same from that time he took off? like the game speed seems like it's too fast for him or whatever. But Deshaun Watson took that, what was it, a year and a half, maybe 2 seasons off, and he insane. And you like, we always try to treat these guys like they superhuman, and to a degree they are, but they still human. Like they going up against other professionals. You can't just roll off the boat and like, okay, I'm ready to play now. I ain't practiced 10 weeks, but we good.
I agree, because if that was the case, hell, we all be playing, right? I know I'll go out there for 10 million. I'll take a couple blind shot hits for 10 million right now.
I'll take one. But hey, something that some of the players want to do is take that artificial grass out and use the real grass. What do you think about this? Does the grass have any effect on some of these injuries? Not having real grass, if you will.
I mean, I believe it do. I mean, that field turf is not the most I'll say stable for football, because it don't have no give when you plant a certain way, or you make a certain cut, or you fall a certain way, as natural grass, where if your cleat gets stuck, natural grass, you pull in the grass with you and you're able to fall without ripping your knee. With that field turf, your cleat gets stuck. Yeah, you're gonna fall, but your leg's gonna go another way, and then that causes MCL, ACL, PCL injuries, Achilles, things of that nature. So with the only thing with Rodgers' injury, I mean, he planted, Floyd hit him, and you just seen his calf explode. So that could have happened on natural grass.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing. That was just something in his body that was waiting to happen. And it's it's unfortunate, but I'm a natural grass guy. I love seeing football played on natural grass. Seeing the grass stains and the mud and all that stuff. It just brings back old football versus field turfs. So that's my stance with it.
Yeah, I'm more a natural guy too.
Well,
what about you, man?
Well, Mr. Natural, I would say with this, it kind of like what is it? Positive reinforcement. If the players think is the issue, then it's the issue. Like when someone tells you you're good at something and they tell you that all the time, you take that on in your mindset. If people tell you suck all the time, you might take that on. So if all of these players keep thinking that the turf is causing them issues, it's in their head. You need to go to grass. So it's not in their head no more.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Maybe they can bring this guy back.
He trying to buy a stake in the Raiders. That's a wrap.
And go back to what we just said about Aaron Rodgers coming back. Has this guy been playing football?
Yeah.
Does he want to go out there behind that offensive line and get hit like he did in Tampa? What is it? What would he get out of it?
Right. I think he's better off. I think he's better off in ownership right now.
I'm sure he has some supermodels that he's socializing with.
Yeah, and he has nothing left to prove. I mean,
no, he is good.
Yeah. Well, is this quarterback good? Fields.
Whoo, man, Fields. He's a product of his coaching, man. It pains me because I watched that kid play at Ohio State. I know he started out in Georgia and he transferred to Ohio State. And I mean, he has the skills, but it's that football acumen where, everything don't have to be a big play. You see a basic cover two and you throwing it, to not even throwing it to the zones that is open for you, the receivers that's open. You ready to pull it down one read and run, because that was his go-to last year, and teams are hip to that. And now they setting the edge. They not letting him out, and then they mush rushing him. They treating him like they did Vic, and it's just unfortunate, man, that his career, I hope not through injury, because I know he injured his shoulder last year, but just overall style of play, it's gonna diminish, you know, in the next year or two if he don't pick it up, if he don't go and spend time with some quarterback gurus and, you know, Chicago really get him a real coach that's gonna pour into him, you know, and challenge him to understand what he's looking at pre-snap, post-snap, you know, and then, you know, understanding what defense is throwing at him in you know, during the play, you know, and even before the plays, you know, set up, send somebody in motion, you know, go, you know, change your cadence, do certain things that's going to put pressure on the defense. So now they can't disguise what they're doing. You know, I watched that Tampa Bay game and it was plays to be made. And this kid is just holding on to the ball and thinking, oh, now it's time to run. No. And Barrett and that Otangu, whatever his name is, number 9 guy, was there ready to knock his head off, and White and David was there ready to knock his head off, you know, and Vita Veda, oh my gosh, that guy's just a load, you know, he was hitting him, you know, and it got bad, man. So I just hope that Fields get it together. He gonna see the wizard, and you know he can kind of pull his career out from the dumps because that's where he's headed.
Man, how do you feel about him publicly saying that it's on the coaching, Zach?
Look, I'm gonna go simpler than Philly Red Zone. Daniel Jones got a 4-year, $160 million contract. If you gonna let anybody keep you from getting 4 years, $160 million, and he got $82 million fully guaranteed, that's on you. Like, it needs to, at this point for Fields, it ain't no more excuses. Like, it should be this, it should be that, it should be kind of like Philly said earlier about the Eagles win. Just go out there and get W's. Like, he could be as unproductive as his ass wanted to be, as we saw from Daniel Jones last year. You go out there and get them to 9-10 wins and make the playoffs, all of this stuff goes away. He could be throwing for 400 or 500 yards, though. I might be.
You being nice.
Be true. I'm saying about Herbert. Herbert doesn't get any criticism because he goes out there and throws for the 400 or 500. But if he's not winning, who cares? Like, exactly. What is the coach doing to you? Is the coach the coach ain't out there, not on the field? I guess unless the coach said he's gonna bench you if you don't do it this way, then sure. But if I wasn't gonna get $40 million a year, $160 million, I'd be damned if I wouldn't be not getting it the way I want to not get it. I'm gonna not get it my way, because whatever it is I got to get done, I'm gonna get done. And I might slap that coach if he keeping me from getting my money, if that's how he really feel. So he just making a damn excuse. Did Jalen Hurts make any excuses last year? And we all love Jalen Hurts now, but before last year, it was a little shaky on how people felt about Hurts. And what did he do? Put his nose to the grindstone and got busy. And look, as much as I hate to say it, and I ain't really a fan of your little cousin, Daniel Jones got the Giants to the playoffs last year, and he won a playoff game on the road.
Yeah,
so
he did it.
Don't make excuses. And you know what? Those might all be valid reasons, but don't nobody give a damn. It's your money on the line. It ain't none of our money on the line, and ain't none of them coaches' money on the line. It's his money. And once he get that, look at Kyler Murray. I don't think Arizona should have gave him that damn money, but he threw his hissy fit, and he got his money now. So if they move on to Caleb Williams or do whatever, it's all good. He still got his damn money. And same with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz got his money, I think, a couple times. That's what he should be focused on. He should have written on his wall, on his mirror in the morning. We get up 4 years, $160 million. That shit should be I'm sorry. That should be plastered on his locker, on his helmet in practice. What more if $160 million don't motivate you, Mr. 401, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna see. They have the coming up this week. The Bears are at Arrowhead. Yeah,
that's gonna be a bloodbath. Nah, that'll be a 40-10 game.
Oof. Boy,
we might as well move to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so there'll be an offer, and here's a couple of offers right here. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh,
They're
I
0-2.
like that.
Yeah, I don't think we saw this one coming. It's no shame in losing to the Ravens, but 0-2 is 0-2.
Yes, sir.
They should at least be 1-1. Another 0-2 team. Zach's favorite quarterback,
Yeah.
Herbert,
Yeah.
0-2 over there in Los Angeles. The Chargers are off to their traditional slow start. And here's a note on the Chargers. First team in NFL history to score 50 plus points and start the season 0-2.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I like Herbert, but Herbert put up a lot of empty yards, man, in games.
Amen.
You know, he situational football is not his strong suit. In his mind, he's still playing in
Amen.
Pac-12. You know, it's like, come on, guy. You know, you got to lead. You got to know how to maintain a lead, and he does not know how to do that. And then, that defense, man, that they have out there, they got some studs on that team, but Gus Bradley don't have those guys playing together or something. I'm just trying to figure it out. Because, I mean, you looked at them on paper, from the Khalil Macks, the Bolsas, the what's my man, the cornerback.
You talking about J.C. Jackson.
J.C. Jackson, and then you got Asante Samuel Jr.
I didn't know they had him. And you got the safety out of Florida
man.
State.
Yeah, James. I mean, they got players, man, and it's just not coming together. I mean, in a year or two, I mean, we might be talking about Herbert like we talk about Carson Wentz, man.
No, you won't.
No, we won't.
Herbert. No.
You sure?
And that is my frustration. If you took a poll right now, probably NFL GMs or whoever, I'll be kind. 80% of them would take him over Jalen Hurts. But like you said, all Herbert does is give your ass empty ass calories.
Yep.
And Hurts goes out there and wins games. But when Mr. 4-1, has Herbert taken any heat nationally?
None.
No.
They had a game where the other quarterback had 5 turnovers, or the other team had 5 turnovers, and you lose that game in the playoffs. He ain't taking no smoke for that. None.
Nope.
None. Exactly. Nope. I mean, I'm hearing stories on, how Hurts is he's not the same. I'm like, hold up, he's 2-0. What the hell are y'all looking at? I'm like, he won every game.
Well,
like,
he didn't do what he did in the Super Bowl, Randy.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, he hasn't led the Eagles to a Super Bowl.
He didn't have 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
He didn't. So he's not looking the same right now.
They don't give out the Super Bowl trophy after week 2, but he ain't won the Super Bowl yet. So that's his problem.
Yeah, they keep on moving the goalposts, but for Herbert, Allen, and those guys, man, they like you said, they love them because they're the big arm quarterbacks. They can spin the ball 80 yards, sitting in the lawn chair, but they don't win. Exactly. They remind me. Y'all remember? I'm sorry to cut you off, Zach.
No.
Y'all remember that quarterback? Was it Jeff George?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's who they remind me of.
Okay. Well,
look, all the ability in the world, but give you average ass results.
Yes, sir.
And really, the results come down to the one thing, which is why these quarterbacks get paid: wins and losses. Like all of this other stuff is great. The quarterback is the only position that's got a win-loss record. They don't ever talk about the running back win-loss record or the defensive line. Like I ain't never heard them talk about your boy from your center in Philadelphia's record, Kelsey.
Kelsey.
I ain't never heard him talk about his record. He's the first guy. He one of the first guys on the team that helped Philadelphia win a Super Bowl. His record don't ever come up. No, these quarterbacks, no matter who they are, he's 130 against such and such. He's got a playoff record of 18-5, like he won it by himself. And Herbert and your boy in Buffalo, out. They don't get anything. They just we love them. They jump over people. like you said, they make the 80-yard throw. They look big and strong like He-Man. Nothing.
Yeah. Yep. And then at the end of the game, they picking themselves up, talk about, oh, I shouldn't have turned the ball over 4 times. It's on me.
Fault.
It's my fault.
I take responsibility. Like,
Yeah.
nobody give a damn about you saying sorry.
Yeah.
Go win.
Man, gentlemen, we got 2 more things to cover here.
All right.
Here's the power rankings. Do you agree with this? I see my Seahawks in there.
I look. Hey, I see the thing up there that said Philly Red. I was like, damn, Philly Red put the Cowboys first. He's like,
oh, that's his name. No.
Look,
we know that. We know that's not happening. But
you know that's not happening.
But are y'all good with these teams right here? The power ranking. Any team you like to see in or out of there? I like Seattle in the top 10 with a comeback victory over the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how the Jets is in there. How the Jets in there?
I thought it was more 2-0 teams.
Yeah, how's Jacksonville in there? How's the Bills in there? You know, those 3 teams alone should be out.
And then I'm gonna go with
who would you put in?
Well, I'm gonna say if the Jets and Bills are in there, shouldn't the Jets be ahead of the Bills? I mean, they did beat him with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Who's another 2-0 team? Like Tampa Bay might not be the greatest, but Tampa Bay is 2-0.
They're 2-0. Atlanta's 2-0. So
Jaguars beat.
Yeah,
but it's called power rankings, for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, it's a preference, man.
It's kind of factoring in some things. It's not the standings.
Cowboys is not one. If I was gonna do anything, I would have the Niners one.
Okay.
But that San Francisco, that victory over Pittsburgh, I guess, doesn't look as good as you want to have it. But I definitely not the Cowboys. I'm in this with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are third until they and I mean from an NFC standpoint.
Right.
Until they get to the NFC Championship game. At least get to the NFC Championship game. That means you knocked off either the 49ers or the Eagles. And then if you get to the Super Bowl, you can come back next year and be number 1. But and while I said they have a chance this year, I'm gonna go with what Philly said. Now we done seen this show for 25 plus years. They ain't number 1. Like they could be in the top 5. They ain't 1. They ain't earned 1.
Yeah. No. Yeah. How about sort out the Dolphins, Chiefs, and Ravens? Those are 3 that come to mind as far as AFC.
To me, I respect the game, and I'll say, look, the Chiefs didn't look, like the Super Bowl Chiefs in a sense. Starting out the gate playing against the Lions, they look marginally okay against the Jags, but they, they deserve a lot more respect than to be, 5. I would say, bump them up into that top 3. I'll say both Super Bowls teams should be 1 and 2, and then you add San Fran, and then I'm with Zach. Then you put probably the Cowboys at 4, and then the Dolphins at 5. And then you can put whoever else from 6 through 10.
Okay, so
just to be respectful.
Yeah, so you guys feel like Dolphins over the Ravens right now?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Tyreek Hill over the Ravens.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because Odell up in Baltimore, he just stole $15 million.
Oh, he's injured again too.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. He just stole. The man is a genius. That one hand. He's still living off that one hand catch. But yeah. I like what I watched the Dolphins game when they went up to Foxborough. They played tough. Mostert and those guys and Hill, and they was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Hill to slow him down. And then Waddle, went off, and those guys, they're playing well too. It look like he's understanding what he's seeing as long as he stay healthy.
Yes.
And there'll be a formidable opponent coming down the stretch. If they stay healthy and if Tua stay healthy. They still have offensive line issues, but they overall they're a very good team. You know, I can see them making some noise in the AFC. You know, do I have them going to the Super Bowl or going to the AFC Championship? No. The team that has a cat with some prints on it, that was one of the teams I was talking about, Jacksonville, and
Mhm.
Sunshine let me down, man. I'm questioning you know,
Lawrence.
my liking of Mr. Lawrence, you know, because he was making some throws in the back of the end zone that I'm like, dude, you're an NFL quarterback. You're supposed to be making that. Ridley shouldn't have to run into the goalpost just to catch the ball.
Correct.
This not football follies, man. Like, come on now, you
Oh
know.
boy.
But yeah, man, that's how I see it. I mean, I don't really do power rankings, man. I look at the standings every week, and then I make my judgments from there. But the power rankings, that's you know that's
That's what we
just
have to do.
subjective. Yeah,
Well, well, I'm with Philly. Chiefs, I don't care unless they just totally nosedive. Should not be less than 3. Cowboys should never go above 4 this year. And as long as they both keep doing it, Philly or 49ers, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Just based on how they play across the line of scrimmage. But I'll go back to kind of what he said. Which quarterback, depending on how things go with Kansas City, is going to go into Kansas City and win a game and take them to the Super Bowl? And I think we talked about this the other day. And I only know of 2. Tom Brady, he's sitting on the couch watching us right now. And then Joe Burrow, who they're trying to get stuff together. But if Kansas City does have to go on the road to any stadium in the AFC, who would bet money that they couldn't go in there and win?
Yeah.
Not me.
Ooh. Not me.
I wouldn't count them out. I wouldn't count them
Unfortunately,
out.
I lost that bet last year, so I learned my lesson.
Look, they lost Tyreek Hill and won a Super Bowl, so you know I'm gonna give them their due.
Yeah.
Before we roll, guys, I'm gonna play this clip. Zach, you familiar with this clip? But we discussed it. We said we was gonna go back through it, you know, because we want to make sure we get this out there. So just I'm gonna play the clip, and you guys give your opinions on it, and then we're done for the night.
All right.
You're gonna see Jackson Law. I know it's a bang play, but you see him launch, and there is no doubt. You know, I thought the one last week was a bit questionable on Jackson at the end of the game, but certainly that one right there does not look good.
You know, Jackson was hit with that unsportsmanlike penalty. Garoppolo handles it, dances, dumps it off. He's got Myers, and Myers is before the flag comes in. Right now it's 4 flags stand, so both officials agree.
Well, I gave my opinion, so I'll let Philly do it. I will say, looking at it now, the Raiders one looks more vicious, but that's the one that I actually feel is legal, whereas the other one doesn't look as vicious, but I'd say that's the one that.
Yeah, I'm with you. That Raiders one, I remember that play, and you know that was just kind of a bang. He did use his shoulder, you know, and it was, but that hit on Logan Thomas was just, and I saw that live. I'm like, how in the heck did they not throw him out and hand him, you know, $200,000 fine as he was leaving the stadium? You know that, I mean, you launch your head into that man. Well, I know you're trying to separate him from the ball. I get it, as a safety, that's your job. But it's not 1978. It's 2023. Like, God, you don't do that, man. You know, now this guy's in concussion protocol, and Logan Thomas had issues with concussions. So who's to say that, you know, now the neurologists say, you know, hey, your season's cut short. You know, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but I think a lot of these guys, and I know it's in the heat of battle, you're trying to win. You know, you got a new coach, you're trying to impress. I get all that. But it's still a level of brotherhood to understand that I'm not going to launch myself into you to mess up your long-term livelihood and life, period. And that as soon as he left his feet, that was illegal. You know, you wasn't trying to break up the ball. Your hands was down. You led with your head. You know, and not only you knocked out Logan Thomas, you could have broke your neck.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that play was just horrible. And Kareem Jackson, the league, I'm questioning the league now with all this concussion protection. He didn't get not one fine or suspension, and they suspended guys just for marginal stuff. You know, and it just seemed like Goodell is just sweeping a lot of stuff under the carpet. You know, when it comes to these hits.
Yeah, wanted to show these plays because you know, with the state of football and like, you know, the participation level, parents, you know, safety, the league has all these different rules in place, targeting and all this stuff going on. Wanted to get you guys' perspective on it. And Zach in particular, you played corner position, you played defensive back for your, you know, collegiate career. And so, you know, want to get some insight on that about how quick those decisions are that have to be made there. And so do we think the second one was the one against Logan Thomas? That was pretty much one where you probably could have done something different. But the one against the Raiders, that's more like a split second type of situation with a moving target.
Yeah, I thought the Raiders was in the heat of the moment. I think what Philly said about the second one, that's premeditated. Because like when you got to go up, it's not natural for you to go up because you're taught to wrap and tackle.
Exactly.
But he said it too. He's trying to separate him from the ball. He's probably trying to impress the coaches and everything. And like it's all good, but you're a ref there, Mr. 4-on-1. And you know, some of the stuff that guys may try, they just not gonna get away with it. Like he ain't gonna get away with the eye in the sky. No. Once that player, like, because then Thomas, like once the guy goes over, he goes like this.
Yeah,
even if nobody saw anything, they go into the tape.
Yeah. It was a tough play. But man, that just shows that it's a brutal game out there. And I also like the point that you guys made about it, that could be damaging on both ends, offense and defensive player. So yeah, we got to be careful out here. And I know we love to watch these games and look forward to them and all those things. But man, it just shows at an instance that, I mean, these guys on both sides of the ball put themselves on the line. And I would challenge people to go out and Google Earl Campbell and take a look at Earl Campbell and how his post football career, how he has to manage that, and makes you wonder. Makes you think twice about this brutal game.
Yeah, I mean it's in its pure form from youth to middle school, high school, and the collegiate level. I mean it's great, but man, it's taxing on your body.
Absolutely.
And those guys are big human beings flying at a high rate of speed.
Yeah, freight trains, man.
Yeah. Yes. We're watching human car crashes, you know.
Yep.
For how many hours you choose to watch it a week.
Yes, all Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern to about 11:30, 12 at night.
Man, you going the wild, man.
NFL Red Zone is on, and we keep it going until we get to Sunday Night Football.
Tell me about it, man. I got the ticket. I'm like,
hey, man, that thing nice too, and where you can split the screen down to 4 and watch the YouTube TV added that feature now with the 4 screens. They got multiple combinations of games that you can put on your screen and watch all 4 of them at the same time. I mean, it's getting crazy, man. But yeah, definitely appreciate everybody being on today. We got the coverage sheet.
Always good to see y'all, man. We got to do this again. Let's week 3.
I can't wait till Cowboys Eagles week when
week 9
when the Hatfields and McCoys get on and start
man. Look,
doing their thing.
We're gonna get some Cowboys and Eagles on for that episode. So that'll be fun.
Last year I was outnumbered, man. But I held my own.
We'll
Yeah.
make sure Mr. Jones is on also, not the original Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, for Philly Red Zone
Gentlemen.
and Zach, I'm Mr. 4-1. We out of here.
Take care,
We out.
everyone.
Take care.